Africans, we sometimes feel very isolated from trend-setting things that are happening in the rest of the world, when we're actually in the midst of so much that is exciting and new. Multi-talented Annie Raman perceives a hunger and decided to feed the starved.
If you're hungry for information on acts, gigs, albums or artists that you won't find in the mainstream media, then Annie Raman has a feast ready for you each day. She's the brains behind the Starved blog. But this isn't actually her day job. From 8 to 5, she's immersed in the ad world, which is where Zaki met up with her.
I'm not gonna lie, I get consumed by the content on the internet. By the time I've clicked from link to link, it's way past my bedtime. But the one thing that keeps me glued to my screen is Annie Raman's blog. Today, I'm meeting the woman who's been keeping me up all night in person.
Starved is an online magazine that showcases the creative nation. Staying ahead of the curve demands incredible stamina and energy. And what makes her story all the more amazing is that as a baby, Annie had to undergo a life-saving operation.
Why did you choose the name Starved for your blog?
Starved comes from being a starving artist, which is something in the creative industry that's quite a popular saying. Because creatives don't get paid that much for what they do, but they work extremely hard. But also being starved just means being hungry for more inspiration and more recognition of your work.
You're not only a blogger, you have a very, very busy life. Can you tell us what you do professionally?
During the day, mostly even at night, I am an art director at an ad agency. So this is my second agency. I'm in digital now. I used to work in Above the Line, so I used to work on TV and radio and that kind of stuff. Now I work in digital.
Okay, wait. What is an art director?
Art director basically conceptualizes and designs campaigns for brands. So like the stuff you see out there on a billboard or TV or even in print, that's the job of an art director and a copywriter.
Annie, how were you drawn to art in the first place?
I just fell into it because from the day I was born, from the day I could hold a pen, that's what I've been doing, and I've always felt my comfort in a pen and a paper.
You were faced with many challenges as a child. Could you give us some background on how you overcame them?
I think it was tricky growing up because while we were raised by a single mother who did everything for us and saw to everything, but I also had a health condition which made life quite difficult. So when I was born, there were 10 babies that got infected by a staph strip in the hospital. And out of the 10, 9 of them died and I survived. It infected my organs, so I had to remove a lot of my internal organs. It's a common thing when babies are born to have yellow jaundice. So the drip that they would normally put you on or that they did back then was infected. And I had too much hair on my head, so they put it in my stomach. And other babies, unfortunately, it usually goes into your head, but those babies didn't make it.
Annie spent months in hospital, but still passed all her grades and completed her schooling at the National School of the Arts, earning a place on the honor roll.
As an artist, what medium do you work in?
All of my drawings are done in pen. I don't know why, I can never draw in pencil. Professionally, I prefer digital, so using Photoshop and Illustrator, that's main tools that I use.
And what inspires you?
I have to admit, it's not very inspiring, but all my inspiration really comes from the internet. I have my favorite websites that I go to, and I'll just be on it for a few minutes and I've already got a really good idea for the next thing I want to do.
What would be a typical working day for you?
A typical working day, would start by being stuck in terrible traffic every single day without fail. And then coming to work, I would either start on a brand new brief or I would carry on a job that I've been working on. So I would conceptualize with my copywriter or by myself, and then I would sit at my computer, I would design, and then I would go to my creative director. In between that, specifically during lunchtime, because I have so much work, I would have to work on my blog. So updating stuff and answering press releases and posting stuff, because I like to post continuously to keep the momentum.
What are the things you don't really enjoy about work?
And the worst part is the fact that you have to create something amazing in absolutely no time at all. And that is, it's insane, but we get it done, which is amazing.
What do you love about what you do?
I love being a creative and the fact that I can create something beautiful from scratch. And I'm actually going to a festival today called Phenomena. It's an electronic festival up near Sandton, and I'd love you to come along with me.
I would absolutely love that.
Okay, that's great.
The event offered a platform for bloggers to present themselves through the medium of their favorite music. Despite the laid-back mood, Annie's eye automatically went to her camera, collecting content for her next post.
Take a look at Starved and you can see Annie's art direction expertise at work. But for me, the major attraction isn't the look, but rather the content. And I'm fascinated to find out how she puts it all together. Tell me about Starved.
With Starved, I set out to give people exposure in the creative scene. I've done a lot of music. I think that's the most of my content on the blog. But it's really just to give creatives a name out there and give them exposure in the industry.
What has been the secret to your success?
The secret to success is definitely the people in the industry, because everyone is so open to interviews and reviews and to getting their picture taken, which is amazing. And when I first started, no one knew me and I didn't know anybody, but I would send emails and people would respond, and it just picked up momentum from there.
I love this question. Who is one of your favorite comic book characters and why?
I'd have to say Archie, because it's quite a nostalgic thing for me, and it's still in print. I mean, nobody does Archie anymore. Do people even know about Archie anymore? I don't know. But I love Archie and Betty and Veronica and all those crazy kids from Riverside.
You're basically doing what people would consider a double job. How do you relax?
There are some weekends where I do get time to relax, but otherwise I relax when I'm asleep. When I get to bed, whenever that is.
Like how many people on like some thousand?
Annie did find time to share ideas with fellow bloggers and feed the inventive spirit inside that restless mind.